Okay, just waiting for people to turn up. So hopefully we'll have a nice turn up today, which will be really good, because it is relatively important as a subject, because people really don't understand how dangerous the digital world can be, and especially if you're a female. So we need to make sure that we are protecting everybody, not just the people who want to be protected. So hopefully you're on Google Plus, which would be nice. So two more minutes and we'll get started. As I said, hopefully everybody's here. Everybody's understanding why we're doing this. Hopefully you have an outcome at the end of it. There's no sales. This is purely an educational program about how you can manage and protect yourselves. So everybody ready? Look at that. Stragglers coming in, which is good. Once it starts, I can take my bloody glasses off and then everybody be happy. Put your hands up, everybody. Okay. Hello, my name is Roger, and I'd like to welcome you to our next webinar. This one is called Why Women Are Better Targets of Digital Crime for the Digital Criminal. This is not a sexist targeting thing, but it is based on a lot of facts that we've garnered from the internet, and will probably make it a lot easier for everybody involved, because come on, you can do it. So I said, hopefully we'll get everybody going. So what I'm going to do is just bring up my slides, and from there we can go straight into the whole thing as we go forward. Okay, so today's webinar is Why Women Are Better Targets of Digital Crime for the Digital Criminal. My name is Roger Smith. I am an author. I do a lot of speaking on digital crime and the impact on business and home users. I'm a trainer. I blog a hell of a lot, including video blogs, digital, anything to do with digital crime and why we need to do something about it. So today we're going to talk about why women are a higher target for digital criminals. Now, the old adage of Mars and Venus, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, really does come into its own when we're talking about digital crime, because they have different tactics for targeting a female than they do for a male. And the same way they have different tactics for targeting older people, younger people, and middle-aged people. And the digital criminal is always looking for ways to get at their targets. And their targets is literally everybody who's connected to the digital world. Then we'll go into the types of crimes against women, and they are not basically the same digital crimes that people are used to having talked about, but these are things that we've noticed have become really prevalent in how the digital criminal and other users on the internet target women. We have an increase in digital crime involving women, and this is why we need to talk about it and get it out in the open and actually do something about it. And then we'll come back with some ideas of how women can protect themselves when they are attached to the digital world. If you'd like to go to that URL, there's a copy of my free book, and it's not an ebook. This is a full-blown book that's just been PDF'd, and it's free. So if you want to just download it, go for it. It does look at business information security, but it also, all of the strategies and tactics can be taken into the home. And that's what the idea behind the book was originally built for. So let's talk about women and men. We all know that we are built different. It doesn't matter how much sexist conversation comes into it, we are all built different. And we also have a different outlook on how things happen. Males are more practical, females are more emotional. We're often told that the men have to get more in touch with their emotional side. Well, that's what we're trying to do. And when it comes to the emotional side of the digital criminal, we need to find out what the hell they're thinking and be able to do something about it. And the digital criminal world is mainly made up of males. Yeah, there are a few females out there, but it's mainly a male-dominated area. That doesn't mean we want equal rights for female hackers, but the digital criminal world is in that situation already. But what we are seeing with crimes against women is it's not the main people who are targeting the women. What we are seeing is that it is women on women, it is the high-end script kiddies. They are not just targeting for the normal raft of target systems, but what they are looking for is ways of getting women to do what they want them to do. So how are women targeted? Well, like everybody else, we have the old spam. But in a female's case, it can come down to being harassed by email as well. And this makes for your life very difficult. And on top of that, it means that you have to have an element of trust with what you're doing when in the email environment, because you never know when you might have pissed off your friend and they are now targeting you or harassing you. The other thing is women are more prone to being blackmailed. You take a photograph of yourself that either is not quite as flattering as what you thought, and you've now posted that to a digital environment like Facebook or LinkedIn, and you're getting feedback from that. But on top of that, there are times when you've got photos on your phones, photos on your laptops that you really do not want to go public. And that is one of the things that we have to be very aware of. The other thing about it is, if you are putting your personal information or your personal stuff up there, then you have an increased chance of someone stalking you and targeting you for other things in the real world, never mind in the digital world. But we're also talking about things like sexually explicit pornography. Again, going back to this information that is held on your digital device, what you can do and how that information can be used against you. And this is something that really people have to be very aware of. The other thing that the digital criminals do, and also even so-called friends, is they will have fake profiles. And a fake profile can be created with a name, a photo of Facebook, and some information that they've gleaned from other sources. And if you get a friend request from someone who actually you already know is a friend, then you need to take that split second to think, why would she be sending me another fake, another profile? Because you never know when this person could be this person. And your life can change for the worse, because a lot of information that you keep in your profile that you keep away from people can be seen by your so-called friends. The digital criminal and most criminals work on being able to deliver trust. And delivering trust to you is relatively important to get you to take the next step, which is trusting them, accepting something that they've sent you, or agreeing with something you're having a communication about. So trust is very important. But trust in the real world means we shake hands, we see body language, we smell, feel, taste, touch. All of those things come into our perception of what a person is. In the digital world, we don't have those feedback loops anymore. The only feedback loop we have is recommendations or friendship from other people and what they look like. And who hasn't, or who has put an unflattering photo on their Facebook page of themselves? Most people haven't. But one of the things that we've got to really be careful of nowadays is privacy. We've got all of the government departments saying that we need to have all of your information to make sure you're not a terrorist. Well, it also goes the other way. If you've got information about where you live, where you're going on holiday, who your friends are, all of this information is a literal gold mine to a cyber criminal. It's a gold mine to someone who wants to target you. Doesn't matter whether they have a criminal element component or they are someone who just wants to give you the absolute willies. And you have to think about what that privacy is to you. And today's, what are they called? Digital natives. The young people have no concept of privacy because they all want to be famous, or they want to be well known. So privacy is really, really important at that level. But what about how are women getting targeted? Well, as I said before, we have the fake email. But fake emails can come in two different varieties. And we have now got a saying in the digital world, which is trust no one. Unless you can actually prove that that email is from that person, and that's usually achieved by Joe ringing you up and saying, I just sent you an email, what did you think about it? Then everything has to be thought through. And although everybody tells me that I'm fear-mongering, I'm trying to get the digital world to shut down, I'm not. I'm just trying to get people to understand that the digital world is here. It's here for forever, but it's a world that we have to have checks and boundaries imposed by ourselves. And fake emails are one of the cornerstones of how people get into us, as well as the fake social media profiles. And a fake social media profile is relatively easy to make up. There was an experiment done by Columbia University in 2010-12. And what they did was they split the room. This professor split the room into two, males on one side, females on the other, and they actually then created a persona. And they were told to see what would happen to their persona. And the professor actually gave them a target to go after. And it was a local airline in the area. And they were told to see how far they could get into the inner workings. The males didn't get very far at all. And they tried everything. But the females put a nice picture of a girl up there, very similar with a bit of Photoshop to one of the girls that was actually working there. Said they were a sister, got into the inner sanctum. And it took 6 months before that inner sanctum access started delivering dividends, cheap flights. There was actually one situation, and this is the one that actually caused the professor to shut down the program, was one of them put a post or a message on Messenger to the CEO of the company saying, I need you to stop a plane taking off because I'm running late, I've got tickets on it, and I won't be there for another half an hour. Can you stop it from going? And when they did, that's when the professor shut it down. So fake social media profiles can have a devastating effect on what goes on in the internet and the digital world. So let's have a look at some sobering facts about where women are and where men are. 38% of women do not understand or do not think they are going to be a target of ransomware. 27% of men don't as well. But 38% is quite a high proportion. And ransomware is one of the biggest things that is coming out nowadays that targets everybody on the digital world. So if you do not understand ransomware and you are using a computer, a smartphone, then you have a problem. Because on top of that, there's mobile versions of ransomware that will attack your phone. And ransomware can deliver $200, $300 to the writer of the ransomware every time someone gets an infection. And on top of this, the ransomware writers are now actually targeting women. They've increased their target. They make the email or the message more emotionally involved than what people used to see before that. What we are seeing is women take a lot more control over their financial information. And a recent attack on an e-commerce, 40% of men, 47%, 50%, let's say, of men versus 39% of women were concerned with fraud. And also, that's one of the reasons why women are very, very careful when they make online payments as well. But when it comes to cyberbullying, it's different. And the majority of the internet bullies are female because you look better than me. And our structure and our society is now all based on that. So what works when it comes to protection? And this is what works for everybody, but it is more importantly for ladies as we go forward. You need to have the fundamentals in place. The fundamentals in place means that you have a complex, unique password that is more than 8 characters for every site and every device that you log on to. And that in itself is a big problem because not many people do that. They have quite happy to have one password, one passcode, off they go. The other things that they need, and there's 5 of them, passwords is very important. Patching. How often and how annoyed do we get when Windows 10 comes up and says, you need to patch and I'm going to shut you down because that's what I do. Or your iPhone comes up and says, all of these apps need updating. Or there's a new version of iOS come out and I need to update. Same with Android, same with all the apps on Android as well. On top of that, that phone, that smartphone, has more power than what NASA used to put Neil Armstrong on the moon. And now we can carry that around in our pocket. The computer systems for NASA in 1969 were the size of a small building. And that processing power and capability is now in our pockets. But we still think of it as just a phone. And that's one of our downfalls, because it is not just a phone, it is a computer. And a computer needs to be protected with antivirus and a firewall. The last one is, we're talking about digital devices here. And digital devices are notoriously bad that if you actually get them wet, they stop working. So if you drop your phone in the toilet, there goes all your data. You drop it and it breaks on the floor, there goes your data. You leave your laptop at the airport, there goes your data. So make sure that you're backing up. Now, apart from the 5 that I've said, so passwords, firewall, patching, antivirus, back it up, I've got 2 others for you. Use common sense. Use common sense in everything you do on the digital world. If it looks like it needs to be taken to the next level where you have to think about something, think about it. Don't just blindly click on something because that's what they've asked you to do. And the seventh one is get paranoid. Because the digital world is a target-rich environment. And what I mean by target-rich environment is everybody is a target. And the cyber criminal knows this. And the digital criminal is quite happy to do what they do because everybody is attached to the internet and everybody doesn't take it to the next level. But apart from the fundamentals, as I said before, you have to treat your mobile device as a mini computer. So install antivirus. And I cannot focus this enough because installing antivirus, although we have all of the platitudes about antivirus not working, if you install antivirus, then there's a good chance that you will catch 90% of the problems before they even get to your system. Track your bank account. You'll get monthly statements or every fortnightly statements or every 2-month statements. Have a quick look and make sure that if you're not doing it for a business and checking every bloody transaction that's there, but you go through it and go, yeah, I remember buying a pair of shoes. Why did I buy a $2,000 bike? That type of thing is really important. Both iOS and Android have the capability now to literally wipe the device itself, turn it into a brick. And the only thing that it's useful for is a paperweight on the table. So make sure that you set up your device so that you can do that. And also things like Find My Friend or Find My Phone are also very critical to how you protect yourself. Because yes, you may have just left your phone in a restaurant, but that's different from someone stealing your information. And that's also very important. We all have access to the internet nowadays. And if you're at home, most people still have NBN or a true connection to the internet in some level. And to do that, you need some type of device to be able to do that. But everybody seems to think, well, I'm going to plug in that, I'm going to put in the username and password, it's up and running, I'm going to walk away. Before you walk away, change the administrator password to something you can remember that is not a default password. There are a number of wireless access points that come out with an algorithm for using the wireless. Change that as well, because the algorithm can be cracked, and that is something that people literally do forget about. Since 1995, with the introduction of Microsoft and Windows 3.1 and iOS 2, I think it was, we've been taught and conditioned to click on connections. So double click for Microsoft, single click for Apple. And everything is see an icon, double click. See an icon, single click. Either way, it's a click on that system. What I'm saying to you is it's not the problem of clicking, it is a case of think before you click. Because if you think before you click, once again, yes, that icon might be there, or that attachment in an email might be there, or that link on an email might be there, but just think before you click on it, just to be on the safe side and protect yourself. Personal information, absolutely critical. And there are components of your personal information that are really more important than anything else. And that more important information is things like date of birth, passport number, credit card details, driver's license number, anything that someone can use that will pinpoint exactly who you are. And date of birth or your passport is absolutely critical in defining who you are in the real world. Because a digital criminal, if he gets hold of that information, can actually take it outside the digital world to the real world, take out loans in your name, take out credit cards in your name, take out a lot of things. And it does mean that you have a few problems. How often do we go to McDonald's and use the Wi-Fi there? Wi-Fi that doesn't have a password. Make sure you are being very aware of what goes on. Because if it hasn't got a password, the information from your device to wherever you're going is now in plain text. Any person or any system can read it. I was in Starbucks about 5 years ago in Malaysia, and we were sitting in a KL Starbucks having a cup of coffee, my wife and my daughter. And my wife and daughter got up to walk out and went shopping. And I was sitting there having a cup of coffee using my tablet. And these two young guys turned up. They would have been 18 to 20, somewhere around there. Both of them had two laptops. Commandeered a corner of the Starbucks, set themselves up. And they were there for about 2.5, 3 hours. Because I was there for about 2.5, 3 hours because I was working on my tablet. But as I got up to walk out, I actually glimpsed at what they were doing. And what they'd been doing was actually using a system to capture all of the information that was going through the local Wi-Fi. The local Wi-Fi that did not have an encryption system in place. So anybody could use it. Yeah, great. It's a great service that they're giving away. The trouble is, you've now all of your clients who come in who have the Wi-Fi set to automatically connect to Starbucks, all of that information and everything that does, instead of going out over the phone line, now goes over the unsecured wireless, can be tracked and traced. And all of that information, using those as passwords, Facebook access, Google email, business email, can all be tracked and traced. So you've got to be very careful about things that are supposedly free. So going back to what we were talking about originally, when it comes to targeting women, yes, there's an increased chance that being a female will make you a bigger target. And that's something that we all have to understand and take to the bank about, because it's very important that we do start protecting ourselves. Doesn't matter if you're female or male, we need to protect ourselves in the digital world. But the number of different targets and the number of different ways that people are targeted is different because you're female or male. And you have to be in a situation to remember that all of this information that you have in your device makes you the target for a digital criminal, a bully, a blackmail attempt. Any of that sort of information is absolutely critical. Now, I have a program called Buy Me Coffee. And what it does is actually it has a fresh set of eyes look at your digital security. And if you type in or go to that URL, fill in the form, type in $100 off for me as a discount code and you'll get $100 off. So it's $390, and it's well worth the investment. Everything's recorded. You get something you can take to your IT department, and off you go from there. As I said before, there's a freebie out about my first book. It is free, still relevant in today's world. My second book, Cybercrime: A Clear and Present Danger, and it's actually become more noticeable now. This book was written 18 months ago. Clear and Present Danger is very true about what digital world is all about. If you need to contact me, then email is a good place to start. Jump on the phone if you need to. Go to my website, fill in the form, or you can follow me on all of the social media platforms that are available. So it's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Google Plus are all there. And we run these webinars probably somewhere between 2 and 4 a month, depending on what's happening. But they're also always broadcast on Google Hangouts, and it does make so you can come in, go out. You don't have to register They're also available on Periscope as well, and hopefully everybody will be happy with that. So thank you very much. Are there any questions? Being no questions. So are there any questions? Let's just get off there. Let's go back to this. Anybody have any questions at all? Any questions about where we want to go, what we want to do, how we want to do it? All right, thank you very much. It's much been appreciated that you came along to this. The recording will be available on Google Hangouts and Google and YouTube probably by the end of the day. So thank you very much.